guys, Megan here with Cottage Quilting. We are on block 7 of our corner beam block of the month already. It's crazy. So I have all my fabrics cut out. What we're going to start with is our fabric A. So we're going to, hopefully you're feeling confident enough to stack them. Okay, so I'm going to stack them so they're nice and square. So we have our 4-inch, sorry, I'm just going to grab my ruler here. We have our 4-inch squares. I have them all right sides together, upright. And we're going to use our corner beam 1. So remember, here, can we see it on my hand? Here, I'll flip this over. Our corner beam 1. So we're using our striped line, and then we're going to use this line when we're making our corner beam, right? So our directions 1, we're going to line this up along the edge, just like so. Give it a cut. Move this aside so you can see. Then we're going to line this up so that we look like a tie. There we go. And slice number 2. Step 1. Step 2, we're using our long strip. Remember, you're going to take it and you're going to put your wrong sides together. I'm going to line up my edges. We're going to use this time our, sorry, I'll fold this up here, our solid line here, and then we're going to flip it, and we're going to use this line here, okay? So we're lining up right on the edge of our solid line. Sorry, I'm just going to straighten my fabric out here a little bit more, just 1 second, because we want this to be perfect. There we go. Solid line. We're going to cut. I'm going to move this over so you can see. And then remember, I'm rotating my ruler. And I'm now lining up on this angle and this solid black line here where it says trim 2. Cut. I'm going to move it. I'm going to go back to this solid angle right here, line it up. My favorite part about this ruler is how little waste we actually have. I've really fallen in love with these corner beam rulers. And I'm excited for this one because we make like a flower this month. Oops, I'm just going to line this up again. Use my angle 2. And like, can you see that this is how much waste? Like so little waste. That's my favorite part. Okay. So now I'm going to piece our blocks together and get these ones done before I move on to our next step. Don't forget to use your Acorn Precision piecing products and everything will come out beautiful. So now that we have all of our blocks sewn, we're going to square them up as per our directions to 3.5. So I just want to remind you what we're doing, okay? So we're lining up our point into this, and this is going to make sure that we have that 1/4 inch all the way around. Now I don't want you to fret if your block isn't lining up on this initial 3.5, because as we're cutting it and rotating it, that's how we're going to get it squared up, okay? So I'm going to line up that point perfectly there. And if you can see, one side at the top here is lining up perfect, but the rest isn't. But that's okay. I'm going to move my other items here so I don't accidentally cut them. Okay, so now I know that this side is perfectly square. And I haven't cut off my point. Okay, so when I've got my 1/4 inch. So I'm going to do a full, I don't know what that is, 180 turn. Now I'm going to line this side and that side up on the 3.5. So now I'm going to trim off all these extra bits, and I'm going to do that for all of these blocks. There's 3 of them. Okay. Our next step is to take our 2-inch by 7.5 inch strips, and we're going to sew it straight across right there. Once we have these sewn together, we are cutting 3.5 inch squares. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our C fabric and our D fabric and we're going to put them right sides together. And we're going to make some half square triangles. So if you have your half square triangle ruler, what I want you to do is line it up in the center and mark on either side. I'm working from home today and I have mine at the store and not here. So what I'm going to do is I'm marking a 1/4 inch from the center, okay? We also have this new tool that I just discovered called the Magic Wand, and it's perfect for this product. I'll try to remember in my next video to do this. Okay, so that's going to be my sew line. And this is going to be my sew line, and then we're going to have 2 half square triangles. Once we've got those, we're going to square them down to 3.5 inch squares. If you can't remember how to square them down, I'll show you again here in a moment. Okay, so what I want you guys to notice is I'm using my smaller ruler. See how we have this angle right here? Whoops, sorry. I'm lining this angle up on here, okay, so that I know where my half square is. And I'm measuring 1, 2, 3.5. Now this is bigger than anything else, and not by much, but about a 1/4 inch, which is fine, right? So I want to have that lined up like so, because then when I square up the top here, I'm going to rotate my block again and line it up on this angle right here. And that's how I'm going to get my block to be completely square. So those markings on your ruler are important, okay? Okay, so you see how now I've got this side perfect at the 3.5 and my ruler here, and now I'm going to clean up these 2 edges to bring it down to 3.5. So now you can see I have a perfectly square half square triangle set, okay, at 3.5. Our next step is to take our F block, which is this one, and cut it diagonally point to point. And then we're going to sew this in between like this. And this is going to be the stem of our flower. Remember to use your glue and your starch. It'll help make sure you've got a perfect little stem. So I just want to point out when we're pressing to F, which was our square block that we had, right? So when you're using your starch pen, okay, I want you to press your seams this way so that it's going to the outside, and then your stem is going to be nice and flat. This next step is kind of important here. Okay, so what I want you to notice that I'm doing, because we're going to square this block up to 3.5. See my diagonal line here? I want that to be in the center of my stem, okay? So when I'm squaring this up, see how I'm going to move this? And remember, we're watching our seams, okay? So we're not worried like these underneath here, because as we flip and turn, it's going to be fine. So that's what I want you to look at when you're squaring this block up. Hopefully you've got one of these nice rulers here that you can use that's going to give you that center line there. If not, maybe use a friction pen and mark your center just to help make sure that you keep it nice and square. Now that we have all of our pieces sewn together, I've laid it out as per our grid. Okay, so here's our grid. And now I've got my grid here. So now I'm going to sew my top row together, my middle row together, my bottom row together. And then I am going to come back in a second when we're all said and done. Okay, see you in a sec. One thing that I want to remind you is follow the pressing directions, okay? So this is my bottom block. You can see here that my points are matching up. And when I flip this over, as per her directions, I'm I'm pressing not to the center, okay? So do follow your pressing directions, and look how flat my seams are here. That's why my points are always matching. And this is because of that Acorn Precision product. Honestly, if you don't have it, you've got to get it, people. I promise you. And voila, our little flower is all complete. So I'm digging this one actually. I'm just going to grab my pattern here and show you the different looks. Like I think I prefer this pattern to simplify it. This one for me gets a little bit busy. But but then you get like this secondary wave through it. But I don't know. So I don't know. I hope you guys are really enjoying this as much as I am. Thank you for participating with us, and hopefully you love your July block. Talk to you later. Bye.